It is. Anyway, this is actually such a really nice space, especially for what we do. So, when do I get into chair? This is Terry.
I think it goes up a little. That one right there. Yep, that's.
Another extension of legs too.
Yeah, you can extend the legs longer too.
So it's like if I just pretty much put it up just above the webcam version.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
more natural though.
Yeah.
They don't normally do a front shot on commentators. It's not a side.
Yeah.
Now does that impede the walkway too much?
I'm gonna tighten it up. Don't worry. Because I'm gonna pretty much get it right on top. Yeah. That's it. Yep.
That's for you. I already have one.
Okay. Yep, here's mine right here. Oh, I have that one.
And then in order, it's
Yeah, I
gonna
got
be
that
like-
one too. So I even have the handwritten part on the bottom.
What is that?
That's
Oh,
for
okay.
the other one.
I don't have that, so you'll have to.
Do not curse.
Yeah, because then there's still a little bit of a shadow behind Jared, but it's like there's
Let me
nothing
see the
behind
shot.
you.
Yeah, that looks good. I like that.
Yeah.
So I gotta stay a little bit.
Yeah, we'll bring it in.
So right like that.
Yeah, that looks good.
So that I'm not out of the shot at all.
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
And
Perfect.
that even keeps the paper and stuff
Yeah.
hidden. So. Loudenslager.
Laudenschläger.
Loudenslager.
Yeah.
Loudenslager. Cook versus Sorrell.
Yep.
Cap is
Laudenschläger is
renewing.
last. All of it. I
Yeah,
hate when
it's
they
in
do
backwards.
that.
Flip
Why
it over.
do they do
Flip it
that?
over. And just go 4, 3, 2, 1.
Could you put this on the desk behind me? Because I have an extra copy. You've already got that. So.
Yep, we're good there.
Yeah, there we go. All right. I
Actually, you know what I can do?
am right about all set.
Yeah, I'm good. We're just waiting on this audio is still funky. My
This one?
audios, no, these audios are going.
These.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, these
but
audios are crisp.
Live stream. He's
Live
not
stream
on yet.
audio is having an issue. Yeah, my audio's
How you feeling, Alec?
done.
Feeling good.
Yeah.
Feeling really good. How are you?
I get to blather
I know. That's
and assume people listen to me, and that's going to be hilarious.
I'm surprised you guys are not up there. Who's going to be on the stage?
The stage they're actually keeping clear because they're using it as a jumbotron. They'll have an active camera
Oh,
where you guys can be. Yeah.
Okay, with like score and everything.
I think so. I think Mike's got some fun and interesting things to put on.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
How about you? You feeling good?
Yeah.
Man, your hair looks great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah, you're well groomed.
Baby takes good care of me. She gives me the right products and is like, here, use beard balm, and here, use this mousse. And I say, okay.
Oh, nice.
She's phenomenal. She doesn't like when I call her baby in front of people because she's Madam Director here, and so she's professional. So yeah,
I will not tell her she said that.
Melody takes excellent care of
Judge.
the respectful, Her Eminence. She does a great job. I am the luckiest man in TSL because nobody else is like this.
No. It's really a privilege. Even that you're here too.
Wow.
That you're both that you came.
Last thing I do is like get all dry.
I was they invited her to be the director, and I was going to be a fighter backup. And then when all this ESPN stuff broke off and she moved stuff away, I was. Oh,
Sweet.
since when? Okay.
Audio's live.
Hello, Saber fans.
Can you hear Jared pretty good?
That was actually Alan.
Oh, that was Alan?
Yeah.
That was me. If we're picking that up.
I know. We're doing good.
Where we at? We're 10 to. Oh, we're 5 to go. Let me get down in here. All right, we're in place.
Well, I've been told that we are live, so.
Live and in full effect, as I like to say.
My name is Jared Graham, and I'm here with Thor Borger, and
Oh yeah.
we are
We're your commentators for the evening.
saying welcome to all you guys out there in TSL Livestream Saberland.
It's one on live stream.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, we're just, I don't know if we're just starting off. We're going to take a break here in a second because I know it gets going here momentarily.
I think we will be. Terry said that we are definitely starting by 6:15, so
Okay.
sometime in the next 20 minutes we will
20
be
minutes.
rolling.
We got nine fights for you tonight. So we're gonna break them up into groups of 2 pretty much, and then our finale by itself. So just gonna run through the card for you guys while we're sitting here getting ready. We got Mike Brundell versus Kristen McConnell as our first fight of the night. Mike Irvine versus Joshua Wilcox. Right?
Yep.
Wilcoxon?
Wilcox.
Wilcoxon.
That's right.
That'll be fight number 2. Then we'll have a little break in between, and then
Good
fight
performance
3.
by our choreographers.
Yep, we got choreographers here this evening.
They put on a good show.
And then we got Carlos Garcia versus Tom Amoroso. So that should be an interesting battle. Then we got Aaron Racola versus Russell Bradley.
That's right.
Then fight number 5, we got Dylan Hagel versus Ivan Rodriguez. Then fight number 6, we got Kevin Cook versus Jimmy Sorrell.
That's right.
And then fight 7, Ryan Kappas versus Jason Newing. We got a rematch from.
That's going to be a good fight.
What was their first match? Was it TSL?
They fought at TSL 2 in the exotics category.
Was it TSL 2 in the exotics?
Yeah,
okay.
and it was Newing had a pike versus Kappas on the long cross guard, and Newing took that one. But then they fought again in the championship series with standard sabers, and Kappas took that one.
So they're kind of, so that actually is the match number 3 between the two.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
But since it's standard, we're looking to see if Kappas is going to keep his standard winning streak going against Newing on that one.
Because the only win Newing's got is in the exotics at TSL 2.
Exactly.
Where he was the exotics champion.
Right. But
So-
Newing is going to work hard to try and bring that back and equalize them for standard. So that's going to be really interesting.
This is the
to
rubber
watch.
match, as they call it,
Yeah,
for the Newing Kappas rivalry. Then we got Alan Bach versus Charlie Cummings. That's going to be an exotics saber match.
That one's going to be super interesting. What they've got set up is Charlie on a pike versus Alan with a parrying dagger.
Just a dagger,
which is
not
just
even a dual
dagger.
wield.
No, not even dual wield. And they have terms. They've agreed between the two of them that Alan can also use his hand to push away Charlie's hilt, not his saber, but his hilt.
Okay.
So that is a thing that is only allowed in championship series when two fighters agree on particular terms. And I don't know how the fight would be any kind of equal without that, because that's what's going to make it interesting.
A dagger versus an extremely longer pike is pretty much as big a mismatch as you can have.
The pikes can hit you from 20 feet away.
Right.
And I don't know how Alan, he's a nimble guy. He's got long thrusts and long legs and arms, but I don't know how he's going to get in underneath that pike with that tiny little
just a dagger.
Yeah, so that's going to be a really, really interesting one to watch.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Then we have our.
You underestimate my power.
There's Alan himself
I say
peeking in
hi
on
to
the
Alan.
live stream, telling us not to underestimate his power, and I do not. But let's be real, he's fighting from a disadvantage this evening.
Well, that means he's got something special up his sleeve. That means he's got something hidden. He's been working on something on the side. He's not letting people know.
strategized. He's
Yeah,
done his homework, as they say.
He is absolutely going to show us something tonight that we're not expecting. So I'm really looking forward.
And then in our main event this evening, we have Mark Carico versus David Laudenschlager.
That's right, and both from California. Northern
SoCal,
versus
NoCal?
Yeah, NoCal.
Okay.
Northern California versus Southern California. Mark just moved up to Northern, and
Who's going to be the king of California tonight? That is
exactly.
the question.
So that's going to be a fantastic. They both fought at TSL 2 as well. They were both very successful at TSL 2. And
This is another rematch.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and until recently, Mark Carico actually lived in SoCal as well. So they fought fairly often. I thought that they met each other quite a bit at their meets there in SoCal. So I imagine they know a lot about each other.
They're very familiar with each other's style,
Definitely.
each other's, weaknesses, strengths, so on and so forth.
So there's going to be a lot of technique in that fight. It's going to bring a lot to it.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the card tonight. It should be a great night of saber dueling action. Happy to bring it to you, Jared here.
Absolutely. This is my compatriot Thor, and we want to welcome everybody again who's just joining us out from TSL Livestream land. We are at Awakening here in Eagan, Minnesota.
Yep.
At this
Beautiful facility.
It's a phenomenal facility. We've got a lot of room. We've got a lot of area to fill up the crowd. We're going to have, I think there's about 100 seats to fill in here tonight, and we've got people coming
Yeah, it's
in.
starting to fill up right now. I mean, we got a good turnout already. A lot of people mingling, looking at some sabers, maybe purchase pre-fight or after fight or down
That's
the road
right.
at some point.
We can
but-
say that we have one of our sponsors here. We've got Vader's Vault here, and they are selling sabers, and they're out of Georgia. We don't get to see them very often, but we love it when they come to one of our TSL events. So we're definitely excited to see them. They've got some high quality sabers. So, I'll tell you what we're about to do too is this is another one of our sponsors is Kaizen Saber, and they make a special saber called the Dark Saber, and that is That is a fantastic and unique hilt. It was made popular in the Clone Wars and Rebels cartoons, and so that's going to be the prize
That's
for
why
our
it looks so
main
familiar.
event tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Clone Wars, big fan of the Clone Wars.
Definitely, and it's a gorgeous etch job on that. It's a fantastic prize saber that either Mark Carrico or David Louderschlager is going to take home tonight. So they're excited for that, definitely. So thank you very much.
I'm just pulling up the live stream here, making sure that I can chat with you guys.
Definitely, please.
We're gonna have the live stream up and running here. Let me. Should have had this done ahead of time, but we kind of started a few minutes earlier than anticipated.
They sort of like, hey, you guys are live.
Yep, they did. They dropped it on us. Hey, there it is on the live stream picking up. So.
Awesome.
All right, there they are.
We're gonna double check that, and make sure that we
live
can
stream.
see.
We're up and running, so go ahead and chat away. We'll try our best to answer some questions here to the best of our ability. What do we got? How do you join this kind of stuff, Jared? That's one of the questions in the live feed right now. Is how do you join this kind of stuff?
Fantastic.
I think you can kind of spearhead that for us.
Absolutely. That's my bread and butter right there. So we'd love to have you. All you have to do is search on Facebook for The Saber Legion, and you can join. You can find our page that way, and you can join our international group that way as well. Whatever state or nationality that you're in, you can search for The Saber Legion and throw that on the end, and you'll see some of our charter groups as well. For instance, like The Saber Legion Minnesota, The Saber Legion Florida. Up in Canada, we've got The Saber Legion Nova Scotia or The Saber Legion Australia. So wherever you're at, search for that on Facebook. You'll find your local charter. The first thing you want to do is you want to go to a meet. You don't have to have any previous experience. You don't have to have any classical sword training. You don't have to have any gear or any sabers. Go to a meet. Your charter rep is probably going to have loaner sabers and loaner gear for you to give it a shot, for you to try it out. And they'll have you sign our waiver and our code of conduct, and that's it. You're a member. And at that point, they can help you find sabers and armor that will fit just about anybody's budget. So, whatever you have or don't have, go to a meet. We are some of the most fantastic people in the world. We're also super friendly. You're going to really enjoy the people that you find there. Even if you don't have any classical training, when you go, we can help to educate you in basic saber combat, and we can help to point you in the direction of other clubs like fencing, HEMA, or Kendo clubs that might be in your area, where you could pick up some of that side training and bring it back to your lightsaber studies. So we would love to have you, and that's how you join. Find us on Facebook and go to a meet.
There we go. Actually, we'll take some more questions from the live stream. Anyways, while we're getting ready for our first match to begin in the next 15 minutes or so.
That's right.
We'll definitely take some Illinois. Yep, we do have an Illinois charter.
Absolutely, we
so there's
do.
definitely an Illinois charter out there
Search
for
on
you.
Facebook for the Saber Legion Illinois, and you will find us.
Jared Bowtie makes the outfit, so we're getting props for Jared here on the
Thank
live
you so much.
stream.
Who'd that one come from?
That was from a Ruth. What does it say, Ruth?
Ruth Manley. Ruth
Yep.
Hodges Manley is
Yep.
one of our masters in Florida. So,
Okay.
we probably got a lot.
That's
of
where you're
Florida
at.
folks.
You're one of
That's
the
right.
out of the Florida charter.
I am imported to the Minnesota. I'm here to support the headquarters in their endeavors and their big championship series fights. So pleased to be here.
Happy to have you. I'm local. I'm Thor Borger. Just to let you guys know about a little bit about me. You can find me on my own channel, Basement Boy Banners on YouTube. Go check that out. Go over there.
You said Basement Boy Banter?
Basement Boy Banner. Yeah, lots of nerd content. We got a lot of different shows. I mean, if you like faked out trailers or if you like nerd talk of any type, go over there, check it out. We got lots of stuff over there for your enjoyment.
What's your bread and butter there at Basement Boy? What is the thing that you do the most? If you had to describe what your podcast is about in 5 words or less, what would that be?
Total nerd coverage.
Nerd coverage. Just
Total
anything.
nerd coverage. Anything.
Movies.
We did E3. We'll do movies. We'll do animated shows. We cover anything and everything. If it's nerdy, we talk about it. Star Wars, anime, video games. It's all covered on that channel, so go check it out over there. We definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate working with the Saber Legion. I've been over here for a while. I mean, I've done TSL 2. I've done a lot of. I think I did Awakening last year.
Right.
I've done.
You've been here as long as I've
so
been
many
here.
events. So
Just
many
about.
events. And I am so excited for tonight's event. If you've watched the live stream before, you know we're not usually looking so professional.
Yes.
I've been known to wear a T-shirt that has some sort of comic book hero on it or my name most of the time. But tonight we're extra dressed up, looking extra fancy.
You never know who's watching. You never know. You never know what might take TSL to the next level, and we want to bring a.
We're always working on top secret stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to keep them guessing.
Always surprises waiting for you in the Saber Legion, and we want to bring a little class to it, a little pizzazz, and look like we know what we're talking about, whether we do or not.
Is there at least one Saber Legion fighter in each state in the United States?
Almost. Right now, we have about, out of the 50 United States, we have about 40 to 45 charters, and I would say 80%, 85% of those charters are active. Now, if you are in a state where we don't have a charter yet, or where that charter is not quite as active, we can use you. All right, you can hit us up. You can send a message to the page. We can teach you what to do to get interest from people in your area and to start up a charter. You'll probably be dealing a lot with me. I'm the membership lead for TSL, which means I train all the charter representatives and I help build us up in those areas. And so I will help you learn whatever it is that you need to do to find people in your area with like-minded interests and who want to saber with you, and we can get it started. So if you look for a charter in your area or for a group in your area and you don't find it, don't lose heart. Send us a message. We will help you get it figured out.
Who is number one? I guess I like that question because it's be the champion. It's whoever holds the belt. That's who's number one.
Yeah.
So Mr. Alan Bach, our current champion, a lot of people would say he's number one. I guess there's probably a lot of division on that question, though, depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
But for me, if you got the belt, you're number one. You know what I mean?
So there's 3 belts in TSL. There's at our annual tournament, we have it once a year, and literally anyone in the whole organization can join that. The champion of Standard Saber in the annual tournament gets 1 belt, and the champion of Exotics gets 1 belt. Those both have to do with annual tournament.
And those are once a year belts.
Those are once a
That's
year.
like winning the, yeah. Okay.
Right. And every time annual tournament comes around again, all of that is reset. The slate is wiped clean, and it all starts over. There's 1 more belt though. These are what we're doing right now. Tonight's event is a championship series event. It's an invitational. If you are known in the Saber community, if you have been to annual tournament, if you are known to be a good fighter, you're invited to participate in these events. They have an entirely separate ranking system, and that is what Alan Block is the champion of right now. He has the championship series belt, so in these invitationals, he's as good as it gets.
He is. I had the pleasure of calling his championship match against bad guy
Steve Matson.
Bad guy Steve. And that was a phenomenal match. I remember that was the highlight of that evening.
It was so fast.
Oh, and that was a very quick match. Just their speed was phenomenal. Their power is phenomenal. The one thing I won't mention about is the TSL and the Saber Legion is these guys aren't out to hurt each other. They're not swinging full force. They're not swinging to do any damage to anybody or harm anybody. This is a competition.
And nowhere is that.
So checking your power is part of knowing how to compete.
Safety is always first for us, and nowhere is that more apparent in some of these championship matches, like the one between Matson and Alan Block. This was full of technique. It was full of control and the training that they had done, not only in their separate disciplines, because I know that Alan comes from a Saber choreography background, and I know that Matson comes from a HEMA background. But not only their separate disciplines that they've done, but also watching each other's fights and researching each other's fights in those videos and learning new moves to counteract each other. The technique was on point for that fight. And I think we're going to see a lot of that again tonight. We're going to see a lot of these fighters have really researched their opponent. We had some pre-fight interviews that we'll probably be referencing later that they talked about watching each other's videos and going to each other's meets. Some of them had fought each other before.
You got to study your opponent.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
You really, I think, and there are some people who don't, and they just go in and they adapt on the fly, and that's whatever works for your style. I never tell someone how to prepare for a fight. I'm not a fighter. I'm a commentator.
Right.
But you can definitely see the guys who really excel are the ones who are watching videos, doing film study, practicing, and learning different styles, adapting different skill sets.
Yeah, definitely. The unpredictability aspect is one that's difficult to get over. If you have never watched anything from your opponent, or if you've watched it and they are changing it up for the fight with you, you're gonna run into things that are gonna make you adapt on the fly. And these fights move so quickly, you guys, and it's so much. I am a fighter, so when I put on the helmet and when I get in there, it's moving so much faster than you think it is. You feel like it's over in 30 seconds. And to not only deal with what you're fighting, but also what you're remembering from your research and what your opponent is presenting you with that you've never seen you before, it is that mental game has to be on point to be successful.
You really have to be there not only physically but mentally. You have
Absolutely.
You really have to be in that zone to react and to change maybe your plan on the fly if you need to, and not be locked into really something that you had thought you're going to do.
100%.
I'm going to take advantage of this. Your fighter figured out that was a weakness and took away that weakness. How do you counteract that now?
Adaptability. Adaptability is the name of the game.
Definitely. So out of the matches tonight, what would probably one you're most looking forward to?
I think we're going to get a really interesting match out of Dylan Hagel versus Ivan Rodriguez.
Okay.
Ivan is always a question mark. He brings that unpredictability. He has some. He's from our Oklahoma charter.
I remember calling some of his matches at TSL too. Right, he's a joy to watch.
He is, and he will never do the same thing twice. He will never fight the same way twice from match to match. He's got a couple of different sources back there in Oklahoma of training. Dylan, I'm not as familiar with Dylan, so I'm interested to see what he brings. He's a Minnesota local, is he not?
You know what? I'm not familiar with Dylan either.
Okay.
So all right. we'll be learning together when it comes to Dylan Hagel.
Definitely.
See what he brings to the table, but versus that unpredictability that Ivan presents, it'll be an interesting test for the guy.
Absolutely. And I like looking through the undercard matches as well. You know, you're always going to get a fantastic show out of your headliners. The last few fights are always going to be epic, but every once in a while you'll get these undercard matches that really just go above bar. I feel like Hagel and Rodriguez is going to be one of those. I'm also looking forward to Mike Irvan and Joshua Wilcoxon. Irvan is an extremely technical fighter. He's extremely precise. His movements are all very, very calculated. Wilcoxon is huge. That man is a beast. He's bigger than I am. And I'm looking forward to what he can do with his reach and whether or not Irvan can overcome that reach with his technicality.
Reach versus technical ability.
Absolutely.
That'll be an interesting battle to see how that plays out. I think the match I'm most looking forward to tonight is going to be Ryan Kappas versus Jason Miller.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be. I mean, we've already talked about it. It's the rubber match. It's the third match between the two. First one was an exotics match, won by Jason. The second one was a standard match, won by Ryan.
Right.
This is the third match for Jason to retain that advantage, or Ryan to maintain or to keep that dominance going.
Absolutely. And Ryan also super technical. He comes from a kendo background. He's got that explosive, that screamy, stompy. Like, he's always a joy to watch. He is always he startles the crowd when he comes out. And he can startle his opponents as well. But Newing, having fought him before, knows what to expect. Right. So he's not going to have that advantage of scaring, so he's going to have to rely on his technical aspect. And Newing comes from the Maryland charter, and he works there with Arian Scott, who is also super technical. They've got a lot of Italian and German, Spanish rapier. So that's going to be a fun fight to watch.
It looks like Director Melody is going to be doing some announcing here. We're going to be getting underway here shortly. He's got the 3-minute mark, so.
Yep. This is Director Melody Graham. She's going to be running all of our fights tonight. She is, I'm a little biased for her because she's also from the Florida charter, and she and I have the same name.
Right, I was going to say she's also your wife. So that, I can see why he's slightly biased towards the director this evening. But that's all right. I know you'll be impartial when necessary.
She does a fantastic job, and I tell you, if she knows you and if she has a relationship with you, she's harder on you than she is on everywhere else. There have been fights that she has stopped the fight and been like, "You need to do better. Where is your head at?" She's harder on those of us that she knows and loves than she is on just about anybody. So she's a fantastic director. She's been doing this for a couple of years now. And she's the only named female officer in all of TSL.
Really?
There's 3 directors right now. She's the only female. There's 3 owners. I'm the membership lead. We've got our webmaster. We've got our of all the named officers in TSL, she's the only female, and so she's starting it off.
That says a lot.
Yeah,
that
we want
to for sure.
We want as much equality as we can possibly get, and she's paving the way, and I'm really proud of her. So.
Equality and diversity is the name of the game. Name of the game. Unite These Sabres is more than just a saying. It's, you know what I mean, like.
It's a philosophy.
It is.
This organization follows that United Through Sabres in just about every way that we possibly can. And there's no, if you're watching this from the live stream at home and you're wondering, oh, if I'm a female, and can I compete with these guys? Yes, 100% you can. TSL does not see male and female. A fighter is a fighter. A director is a director. And it is entirely based on your merit and your ability. And you get in there and you fight just as hard as anybody else. Once that fencing mask goes on, that's just your opponent. That's all that matters.
Gender's out the window. It's go time. It's go time.
It doesn't matter.
We will let Bradley know his students are cheering him on. They've been very active in the live stream. We will let him know. I will pass along that message. Rest assured.
That's Russell Bradley. He's our 4th fight tonight. He is out of Nebraska. He's our charter rep for Nebraska. This is our first time seeing him. So.
All right, here we go. TSL Awakening is underway. I'm jumping ahead of myself.
Director Graham's riling up the crowd.
Going over some rules. Director Melody giving the rules.
I don't know if they can hear it on the live stream, but
I'm pretty sure they can still hear us on the live stream.
Can they hear her, do you think?
That I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, in case you guys can't hear, what she's saying is that strikes to the fingers and the ankles do not count. Strikes to the neck and the groin, if they are intentional, could be a penalty, or they could be counted or not counted based on whether or not they're accidental. The same is true for a thrust to the abdomen. Other than that, everything counts for 1 point. 5 minutes or 10 points, whichever comes first. That's the championship rounds. We're going to do the best out of 3.
3 rounds to a finish. Actually, best 2 out of 3.
Best 2 out of 3, right?
All right, sorry about that. Our first
against Mike Brundell.
Brudnell.
There we go. We got Christian in blue, Mike in red.
fighters, bow to the table. Bow to your opponents. Fighters ready.
Now taking an aggressive pose. Kristen comes. We've got a split decision
to McConnell.
Mike Bridnell's got Bridnell takes the second point. We're tied at 1-1. He's got that interesting footwork that reminds me a little bit of capoeira, but Kristen McConnell's got that long lunge and can get in there and lead the defense. We have our first simultaneous match, and what that means is that no one gets a point the first couple of times that happens, but on the third simultaneous, both people will lose a point. That's to encourage our fighters to also do defense, not just focus on striking. One more for Bridnell, and we've got a 2-1 match at this point. Kristen's on her way in for a third and looks like she's blocked out.
Mike always stays right on his feet. He's bouncing around.
Definitely. He's controlling that range and he's making Kristen follow him, but she's just chasing him right in. He seems like he's just getting in there just a little bit faster. She's got those long lunges and long thrusts, but she's going slow with them. She could just push a little faster. She'd get in there. The judges look like that one is going for
And now it's 4-2 in favor of Mike.
He's working for that opening and trying to take it offline.
I think Kristen
Kristen goes for the legs underneath it. And she's bringing it back up. She's working for the comeback, and it's 3-4.
3-4 still in favor of Mike.
Because right now, he looks like he's blocked that out and hit her in the opening on the way in. She must have got thrust into the shoulder. So as she's tied it up, she brought it back from a 4-1 lead, and she's brought it back to ties. And it's 4-4.
All square at 4. With a split.
Red point.
Bridnell definitely has that speed. Bridnell definitely has the speed, but it looks like McConnell is working that technique, and she's looking to block out his strikes and counter on his way in.
Hold time.
We're holding time for a minute as we're having a
Saber malfunction.
issue with Bridnell.
Fighters ready? Reduce time. Fight!
Now Kristen's working on footwork and trying to get off line to get in under his defenses. She takes the initiative.
Tries to back up at 5.
Back up to 5. It looks like she's got his number. It's still anybody's game though. He has all that speed to draw on. And he goes for an overhead strike to the head. Did he get it in time? It looks like he did. He took her right to the mask and trying to maintain that lead at 6-5.
Red stance is like very closed off stance.
It is a close stance. He's maintaining that high guard and it leaves his legs open, but it also keeps a defense for any time.
That's an odd starting stance to Saber out.
He's very flashy, but he's not classically trained, but he's got his speed to rely on.
He got that point, so he's up 7-5 now.
Absolutely.
Well, not
He'll
really
find
early
those
in round
openings.
1, but getting later in round 1.
Third simultaneous match. Both opponents do the points.
All right.
Fighters ready?
So we're down to 6-4 red. Bridnell's relying on his speed, but McConnell is trying to chase him in and get him under his defenses with thrusts. Looks like he's in a low guard because I think he realized at the same time I did, he's giving her his legs. He does want her to take advantage of that, but she goes after an arm.
Now he's kind of going lower down.
Absolutely.
Take that away from it.
Correct, and he's got an 8-4 lead at this point. But he tries to go with a fancy flourish, and she...
1 minute remaining.
So we're 7-3 red. Bridnell's still holding his lead, but Kristen didn't come back from this deficit earlier. And she
Under
has
a
his
minute to
arm.
do it now, so.
7-4.
Simultaneous. Both opponents do the
She
points.
maintains that high guard and leaves her leg open. He's going to keep working those shins, but at the same time, that takes longer to get down in there. And she can take the higher shots to the arms and head. Working her way back at 6-4. Bridnell's still holding the lead, but McConnell's trying to fight her way back. back. We're running short on time. It won't be much
Gotta be
longer.
getting down to 30 seconds here shortly. 10 seconds remaining. I'm way off.
It looks like he's wrapping this one up. He's blocked her out on the way in and taking a counter strike.
Round one will go to Mike. It's looking like.
Set.
Opening round of the first match was 8-4 in favor of Mike.
Kristen's a fighter, though. Kristen will figure out your systems and she will try and get in underneath that defense. So she's gonna. Fighters are going to their corners now. They're gonna try and figure out their new strategies. They're gonna come back for another round, get some water in, and then we'll do another 5 minutes of this. Okay. Can we turn it up any? Should we tell Mike?
Yeah.
Mike, we need more audio input to the live stream from our microphone.
No, we turned up. Yeah, they're having trouble hearing us, they said.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Is there anything we can do down here to help with that?
Volume turned up.
Which way is up, which way is down? Is that better? We're trying to get the audio issue fixed. Thanks for letting us know on the live stream. Let's know if the commentator audio is starting to come through a little bit better. Here we go, round number 2 of match number 1.
So Brudenell took the first match, and if he takes this one, that's going to be it for our first two set of fighters, because that'll be that's 2 out of 3. But Kristen McConnell comes out swinging, and she's trying to push his saber to the side and get a counter strike in. There's so many things you have to control in a fight. You have to control your distance to the other fighter, you have to control your reach and theirs, and you try and control what you're doing with your saber and what they're doing with theirs as well. You want to parry it out of the way. And Kristen's doing a great job of that. She's brought the score up to 2-1.
Come on, Kristen! Get him!
She definitely needs to.
There it is.
Second simultaneous match.
Another simultaneous.
Simultaneous happen when both fighters are focused on attacking and no one defends. So he's got that quick flick off his right hand, taking up the one-handed fighting style, and a quick pop off of the wrist got him up to the 2-2 tie. We'll see what director.
Third simultaneous. We're losing points. 1-1 in this early part of round number 2.
Sweep the leg!
Tap on top of the head. Red.
It takes longer to get down to a lower strike.
Another
So when somebody's on their way in to hit you in the legs, you can oftentimes get something with their shoulders or head, and that's what Brudenell is doing.
We're back to double zeros on the score here.
That's right. Every simultaneous from here on out means both people lose a point down to 0. You can't continue losing points past 0.
And each round's only how many minutes?
We get 5 minutes per round and up to 10 points. I think this one will probably go to time. Right now it's 1-0 blue, but Kristen takes on one more. Kristen's got a very closed stance, but she explodes out of it with long lunges and long thrusts. Brudenell has an open stance, and he's switching back and forth from 2-handed to 1-handed scenarios based on what he feels like he can reach. He's a much more stylish.
Blue's up 4-0 now.
Kristen has his number. She sees what he is doing, and she is trying to shut down his one-handed game and use technique to carry out.
2-3 red points.
Oh, red point.
All time.
So the way that our sabers are constructed, The blades are a single tube, and then there's a rounded tip on the end. And we usually tape or shrink wrap those tips so they don't go flying off into the audience. We usually do it with pressure differential from the strikes.
That's just a safety. That's just a safety.
Absolutely. Safety is our number one priority in TSL. So Kristen's got this match right now 4-2, but he's got a long one-handed reach and puts a thrust right into her torso on her way in.
4-3 now. He's got 3 straight fights. He's 1 point behind him.
He's fighting his way back. These two can go back and forth. They fight pretty often. They're both Minnesota locals, I believe, and so they see each other at meets. And Brudenell equalizes it with a 4-4. It's anyone's game. No contact with that exchange, and they're back in. And an honor call. Kristen points out to the judges that he took her in a fencing match.
5 straight points now for Red. He's up 5-4.
Switching sides at the halfway mark for 5 points. Kristen came out real strong, but do you feel like she's starting to become a little fatigued on this?
She's definitely losing momentum.
Right.
She had a lot of momentum early in this round, and the momentum really swung in Red's favor, especially these last 6 straight points.
Absolutely, and as we're 4-6 in favor of Red, you can kind of see that she wants to avoid.
She's not laying down and accepting defeat. She keeps fighting though.
Exactly. You want to avoid going for those long strikes that take a long time to hit home down to the legs. And you want to focus on what you can reach easiest, like wrists, face, and sometimes shoulders. You want to answer whatever your opponent gives you.
And you really want to go for high percentage shots.
Absolutely.
She's got a really good chance of hitting. That's a long shot.
Absolutely. So both lose a point, and it brings us back to 6-4 in favor of Red. Brudenell is holding the match, and if he wins this one, that'll be 2 in a row for him. But it looks like Blue gets in just underneath.
And winner of the match goes to Mike Brudenell.
Mike Brudenell in Red, 6-5, and that's 2 out of 3 for him, and so that's going to wrap it up for our first match.
Shout out to Hawaii watching. Aloha to you too. Hawaii Saber Academy.
Yes, sir. Our Hawaii charter is a relatively new charter. Our rep out there is Keith Milet. He already had Hawaii Saber Academy that he was working on, and he's establishing a TSL charter down there as well, using the same folks in the same facilities, and we're definitely glad for what he's added to the organization. We love our island folks, so aloha to them. We're going to take a brief reset real quick, and then we'll come up with our second fight, which is going to be Mike Irvan versus Joshua Wilcox. This is going to be one to watch, as we talked about a little before the fight. Irvan is a hugely technical fighter. He's very precise with what he does. Josh Wilcox, and I haven't seen fight yet, but he's a monster. He's a huge dude with a long reach, and we're going to see if he can work his way around Mike Irvan's technique. You know, I tell you what I wish we had more of in the audience store, and that's kids. Every once in a while we'll get one of these championship events and we'll get those kids out in the audience who just scream for the fighters they love, and they're not embarrassed to tell anybody what they think.
I remember at the last event we had one right in the front row.
Absolutely.
He was the life of the show for sure.
Indeed, he was a bit of a
More than any of the matches, he stole the show. Match number 2 is getting underway right now.
Director
Got
Melody's
fighters coming to the ring.
All right, representing Minnesota Empire and one of the founding members of the Saber Legion, coming to the ring for the first time, 3 years, Saber combat experience, and TSL Awakening Livestream.
hero and the crowd loves.
Hail from Pod City, Minnesota.
OG and saber match, as they say.
Sorry.
Oh my God. I have never seen anything like this. I don't know. Pretty sure that's not TSL legal. We got Joshua Wilcoxon coming out.
Left or right?
Left or right? It's out of this, just anywhere.
Yeah.
Back, left, right.
Have him take a knee to judge.
Yeah, I think I'll
Or sit a chair. So the rubber venom mask has come off, but his fencing mask is also painted to look like venom.
I didn't even see that part.
I think he's hoping that it's going to throw off his opponent just a little.
Nothing's gonna shake there.
He's been in this a long time. He's seen a lot of different fencing masks. I don't think it's going to have the intimidation factor that Wilcoxon's hoping for.
10 points.
So Wilcoxon in the red corner, Mike Irvin in the blue, and that reach has already come to his advantage, and it looks like it's 2-0 red. Wilcoxon holding down the match right now. Fighters are circling each other, looking for an opening. Wilcoxon trying to push the parry out of the way. Irvin makes it in. He's on the board. It's now 2-1 red. Wilcoxon holding down the match by 1.
With the leg right. Oh!
First simultaneous in the match, Irvin is realizing that when you come across someone with longer reach than you have to use agility and try to control their blade to get in under their defenses. Wilcoxon wants to keep him at bay and reaches out for the wrist shot to take it to 3-1 red.
Channel it, Mike.
Come on, get him, Mike.
Got it.
Hey, red point. Fighter ready.
Wilcoxon takes it to 4-1 red. He's controlling the match. He's controlling the reach and the distance. Irvin's looking for a way to get in, but Wilcoxon's circling to get him offline and reaches in.
There. His shoe came off.
Oh, we lost a shoe. Holding time.
It's like his shoe came off. That's a problem. You can't fight shoeless.
Yeah, absolutely. Not on carpet. That'd be awful.
Alright, we're resetting here.
I've seen
five to
It is 5-1
in favor of Josh Wilcoxon.
That's right. So it looks like Wilcoxon is trying to draw out a strike from Irvin, and when he reaches out to strike, he's trying to hammer those wrists. But Irvin seems to have his number, and he's not giving him the strikes he's asking for. He's brought it up to 2-5.
He's trying to make Mike make a move so he can attack.
If you can get Mike to reach out, then he gives you his wrists as a better target. But I think Mike has figured out what's going on, and now it is 3-5. He is narrowing that lead and trying to work his way back in. Wilcoxon trying to bait him, but Irvin sees it and works a little risk of his own for a simultaneous. No points, and it's still 5-3 in favor of Wilcoxon.
Simultaneous. So we're back in points down. 4-2, still in favor of red.
Still in favor of red, but that lead is beginning to narrow as Irvin is figuring out what's going on. But this is a long game. This is still best 2 out of 3. This is just the first round.
Opening round of
Exactly. Irvin is seeing his way in under the defenses, but Wilcox sees it coming and is taking a strike on the way in. This has ended up in a lot of simultaneous.
Right.
So we're down to 3-1 red. But Irvin sees that one coming and takes a wrist strike on the way in. So it is now 3-2, and we're back within 1 point. distance and range, trying to find his way in. Will Coxon takes a torso slash to get that red point on Irvan's way in.
Opens up another 2-point lead.
That's right, it's 42 red.
You got it, Mike. You got it.
Will Coxon has a very, very relaxed stance because he's got a lot of time before Irvan can make his way all the way into his reach. So he gets to wave at him a little bit on the way in. Line judge is indicating that Irvan made it in while we weren't paying attention, and so it is now 4-3. We're back within 1, and Irvan's fighting his way in.
With 1 minute remaining.
1 minute remaining.
Trying to extend that lead back up to 2 points.
That's right. Mike's trying to make his way in, and Joshua punishes him for the attempt. Mike put up a feint, and Joshua Wilkinson did on it. Put his saber out of the way and allowed Mike Irvan to make another point on the way in. And I think that just worked twice in a row. We are now tied 5-5. We got less than a minute remaining, and it is anybody's game here. Irvan once again using the reach for an outside shot to the shoulder. It is 65 minutes. About 10 seconds left.
2 points.
Irvan maintaining the tie, trying to fight his way back. Last point is simultaneous.
So that round was a tie. Yep, we get the scoreboard as
We're going to a tiebreaker here. Can't leave a match unanswered.
Remember that means, we're going to 375 for 1 minute, and the first person to achieve points wins. So if you're
Sudden death.
let them
First
know.
one to get a point.
Round 1 goes to sudden death. Is it going to be Irvan's technique or Will Coxon's reach? They're on their way in. Working for range, looking for openings.
It looks like
Outside start to the shoulder, takes the first of 3. I gotta tell you, it was exactly as exciting as I thought it was going to be.
This is one of the ones going into it that you were excited to see how it played out.
Absolutely. Some of these
technique versus speed, I think is called it, right?
Well, yeah. Mike Irvan definitely has the technique. He knows the parries, he knows the counters, he knows how to try and fight his way in. But Will Coxon has the reach and the speed to keep him at bay and to keep him far enough away that he can't make use of those techniques. And so it is definitely a back and forth battle, but Irvan always comes out with a tight match against almost anybody he's against. So keeping the scores real close, keeping it close to a tie, and making it an exciting nail biter for the audience. And the audience is definitely cheering him on for the hometown hero Irvan, seeing what he can do against the outside interloper Josh Will Coxon.
Round number 2 will be very interesting.
He's here in Minnesota. Okay. So Josh Wilcoxon is also a Minnesota fighter, but he's from a little ways up north, so he doesn't always make it down to these meets. But they go in to start round 2, and he pushes Irvan out of the way and takes a shot right to the fencing rings to make it 1-0 red. Trying to control the second match and knock Irvan out in 2. Irvan
Ties it up there with his first point of the round.
Irvan is on the board with the wave and wiggle feint to get Josh to bite and makes him. Josh goes for the long thrust and misses the knee.
Got a nice shoulder strike in there.
Overbalances a bit, and Irvan makes him know that was not the right choice. We got a simultaneous. It's still 2-1 Irvan. 2-1 blue.
Come on, Corellia.
The northern
Blue going up 2 here.
Looks like this match is not going the way the Northern Minnesota Wilcox wants it to. I think Mike has turned his own strategy back against him by going for those feints and getting into engage and then taking those wrist shots. But then again, we get shown that it still works for Josh just the same, and it's 2 to 3. Blues
As much as Mike doesn't want to fall into the trap, he knows it's coming. He still can't, help himself but go for that attack. Fall into the plan.
When you're inside those fencing masks, it's so hard to tell what's a feint and what's an actual strategy. It's a game where you have to get into your opponent's head and really figure out their strategy.
3-4 now, still in favor of blue.
Irvine's controlling the second match, but Wilcoxon's keeping it close. Irvine trying to take it offline with the left side. Irvine chases him in and takes the point anyway. So it is 5 to 3 blue.
Switching sides at 5 points.
When we talk about the fighting line, we mean if you draw a straight line between the two fighters and they go straight back and forth on it, they're fighting on line. But as soon as they sidestep or circle one direction or the other, they're moving offline to try and get their opponent to give them a shoulder or a knee that's a little easier to reach by scooting offline. We're holding it 5 to 3 blue. Blue reaches in underneath to take a wrist strike on Wilcoxon's head and it increases his lead 6 to 3 blue. Whatever Irvine figured out in the break between the two matches, he has come out with a new strategy and he's trying to control this fight and made his way to an early lead. Still maintaining 2, 6 to 4 blue.
He needs this round to stay alive in this match.
Absolutely.
He loses this round and the match is over.
That's right. It'll be 2 for Wilcoxon and that'll be it. So Irvine's got to get on the board. I'll take this with me.
Or we could still have means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just because you're wearing a red blue doesn't mean you have to be in red and blue points.
We might have to. And then this charge. Get that right shot on the ESPN.
Yeah. Pretty much everybody.
He's not seeing it. We gotta move those chairs out of there so no one sits.
Right. Agreed.
That's why I
Alright. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We're working on some administrative and logistic things, but I'm Jared Graham, and I'm here with Thor Borger from Basement Boy Banner, and we are your commentators for this evening. It is a truly exciting match between Minnesota locals Mike Irvine and Joshua Wilcoxon. Mike Irvine from here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, and Irvine from a little further up, and Wilcoxon from a little further up north. And
we're tied at 3 here in the second round. Pivotal second round. Mike loses the second round, the blue fighter. He loses the match. He wins this round, and we go for the most exciting part is round number 3.
Absolutely. He runs out with that long lunge and keeps Wilcoxon in his balance. But Wilcoxon is trying to fight his way back, and they're maintaining a tie right now. It has been Irvine's match all match long. Wilcoxon has fought it to a tie, and he's holding it steady.
I'm always stay tied. 3.
Second round in a row. These two have tied it up. This might prove to be one of the most exciting matches of the night. These two hometown heroes, these two Minnesota locals. They're lovely. We've got 1 minute. Sudden death. First point wins it. Wilcoxon took it last time. Irvine's got it coming up.
All right, it's match point and round point. For blue, it's stay alive.
But blue out of the way and takes a wrist shot. One match Wilcoxon, 1 match Irvine, and we're going to our third. Got it.
When we go to a third round, it's always my favorite part of the evening.
Absolutely.
Because everything's on the line. It's winner take all. There's no next round to get to. There's, you know.
You can feel the excitement in the air. The crowd is getting a little louder. The fighters are getting a little louder. This is going to be a big deal for both of these gentlemen. They want to get as good a fighting record as they possibly can.
We're getting, oh, hey, the shot's on us again.
Hey, welcome everybody.
I was leaning casually, and all of a sudden I looked down and saw myself on camera. So now we're back on us, right before this pivotal third round. We're getting a little water, everyone getting reset, and then we'll get back in action here.
These fighters are super excited. I'm Jared Graham. I'm out of the Florida Charter. This is Thor Borger. He's a Minnesota local, and we're trying to be here to walk you through TSL's Awakening. We're going to welcome anybody who's just joining us. We are about to start round 3 of Mike Irvin versus Joshua Wilcoxon. It is 1-1. Both rounds so far have gone to a tiebreaker, and here we go.
And both rounds might be sudden death. What will happen in this third and final round?
The first thing to happen is Wilcoxon takes another easier shot on Mike Irvin's way in, and it is 1-0 red.
Wilcoxon's had a target. It's been that wrist. He's hit it many times.
He knows what he's doing.
He really has.
That's a Steve Madsen trick, the former champion Steve Madsen, and he's known as the hand hunter because he does the same thing. As soon as somebody reaches out, as soon as you reach out, that wrist. Both of them are very open, especially in a two-handed stance, as Irvin tends to favor. Wilcoxon spends his time sometimes in a two-handed stance, but tends to switch over to one-handed. And I think one-handed is his primary, and it's interesting to see them work against each other. It is now 2-1 red. Wilcoxon's game so far in his third round. Irvin is honorable. And tells the judges that yes, he hit my wrist, and it is now 3-1 red.
It's early in round 3 though. 3-1's nothing to, nothing to get you down about it. You can come back from that pretty quickly.
We've got 4 minutes left. We've got a lot of points left to go. Simultaneous as goes back if we get 3 of them, and so still anybody's match. Currently 4-1 red. Irvin parries the saber out of the way and puts that shoulder.
He needed that point.
He needed it. He's fighting his way back. It is 4-2. Still Wilcoxon's round.
Red took advantage of that wrist again.
He's going up underneath when he can't get it from top. When he can't get it from above. There you go. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. Wilcoxon tried to come out and control the match, but Irvin was on his way in too. He just charged in like a rhino and put Wilcoxon off the game and took that point from him.
3-5 now.
3-5 still red lead, but not by much. I'm watching that from the table. It's so difficult. I feel like Irvin got that just barely ahead of time, but all of our judges say simultaneous. We have 4 line judges, 1 in each corner, and we have our fight director in the center acting as the 5th judge when tiebreakers are necessary, and
or there's 2 schlubs in suits in here at the table announcing the action.
Every single one of them, all 4 of these line judges and the director all have a different view of what is happening, and so that's why we have to take into consideration all angles on what is happening. The director has a tremendously hard job to try and manage all those line judges and what she saw and make a determination based on that. Wilcoxon's got a comfortable lead now. It is 6-3, and so he's relaxing a little bit, not charging in as much.
Director breaks on time.
She has to take into account what she saw versus everything that the line judges are calling, and she makes the final determination.
6-4, but I have a feeling we're nearing a minute remaining in this match.
We're getting close. Will Coxon takes that elbow for a 7-4 lead, and he's getting pretty comfortable in this third round. This might end up for
Looks like
Will
it might be
Coxon, the Northerner.
team slightly.
I think both of them are a little bit. We had a lot of charging in earlier. Will Coxon takes it.
Red's still bouncing around pretty good.
He does.
It kind of looks like Blue might be feeling this third round.
I'll tell you, put it on these pads and fighting at this high rate, and especially these championship series where it's 3 rounds in a row. This is one of the most exhausting things you can possibly do. It's great for fitness. Will Coxon has brought it out to an 8-4 lead, 4 points for Mike to overcome.
Not impossible, but with 45 seconds remaining, improbable.
The third simultaneous of the match loses 1 point for each fighter, 7-3. Will Coxon fighting to maintain that 4-point lead and makes it a 5-point lead, and it looks like this one's about to wrap up, you guys. I don't see this one turning around in these last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But Mike Irvan does not agree with me, and he is charging in, trying to get those last few points to keep himself on the board.
Last point right here.
Last point, 1 more point for Red, and this one's wrapped up for Will Coxon, the Northern Minnesotan. But Irvin keeps it alive.
Like the disco song from the 70s, he stays.
Will Coxon, Northern Minnesota, beats Mike Irvan from Central Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Mike put up. No, he was trying all the way to that last 6 o'clock.
And that's important. That means a fighter's got heart when he fights it all the way out. When you do not quit.
The one thing you can't teach that fighter is spirit. You either have it or you don't. I'm not a fighter. I don't pretend to be. I'm much better on a microphone than with the saber in my hand.
You know, there are a lot of people for whom it comes naturally to have a fighter spirit, but I disagree with you. I feel like it can be taught. I feel it can be taught by example. I feel like when you've got a mentor or you've got more experienced fighters around you who absolutely give it all the way to their last drop, when they push it and push it, even when there's no hope, even when there's no odds, and you see that, it inspires you to build that warrior spirit in yourself. That is what I think.
I mean, it could be. I guess to a certain extent, it could be learned.
Yeah.
But that want to fight and duel is something you either kind of have in you or don't have.
It's indicative of your character. It is definitely indicative of your character. Are you gonna give up and walk away when the going gets tough, or are you going to fight it out and finish it out, finish your obligations?
In between our fights, we have some lead performances ready for you.
Right now, we have a choreographed moment coming up in the evening.
Right.
So,
Chronosphere Studios. Let these choreographers show you a good show.
Volunteers all left. What are you doing? You had another event. Right there. If they're not ready, why? Well, they can go with the before. You guys in there. You came here to watch a show. So we got to show them something. They got a lot better before. I thought we got good at that. Everybody else, there is.
They can convince the audience. Yeah, this used to be the great.
I'm trying.
I'm more concerned with the size of that. Okay, somebody doing this. Where were we? What? Yeah, you see the evil in that. There it is. See that? Basically, you don't have to go anything we're going to have to do. A Drago? Did they get enough of those in the last fight? The audience is going to be so disappointed. The high ground betrays you. What do you say? Well, she did that. Good news is, at least we had one of these things with nobody dead, dying of each other, or unconscious. I mean, still.